Hello, I'm Mike Driscoll, and today I just want to introduce you to Python's package installer, known as pip. Today we're going to learn about how to install a package. We'll also learn about installing packages with requirements.txt file, upgrading packages, checking what is currently installed, uninstalling packages, reinstalling packages, creating a requirements text file, and some other things. So first of all, what is a package? A package is something that doesn't come with Python. There's lots of popular packages like pandas or requests or SQL Alchemy. None of these come with the Python programming language, so you have to install them separately. Starting with Python 3.4, a package installer called pip was added to the Python standard library. Before that, it was something you'd have to install separately, using a special kind of installer. It was kind of confusing, really, because you'd have to install an installer to install extra packages, and it was kind of a weird time. The cool thing about pip is now it's part of Python, and in fact, I believe it was added to 2.7 as well. So if you use a really ancient version of Python, you can still use pip. Anyway, the system Python may not have pip installed. The system Python is the Python that is installed with your Mac or Linux. Mac kind of dropped Python recently, but Linux still installs Python by default, and that is known as the system Python, and most of the time pip is not included. How to check if you have pip? To find that out, open up a command line terminal and just go python 3-m pip. Let's talk about where to get pip. If you don't have pip installed, you can go to this website. It's been moved. Let's jump over here, and you can get the getpip.py file to go ahead and get pip. Okay, so let's just check and see if we have pip installed. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to open up a terminal. And we are just going to try running python 3-m pip and see what happens. And see right away, you don't get an error. You get all these different commands and general options. So I do have pip installed, and I can use it on my computer. But if you don't, now you know where to go to install it. Okay, let's talk about installing a package using pip. To install a package, you would normally say pip install package name. Pip, once it's installed, is usually available on the command line. So if I go over here, back to my terminal, let's just clear this out and try running pip. You can see that it does the same thing. Occasionally, like on Windows, you may have to add pip to your system path to get it to run when you just type the word pip or pip.exe. It really depends a little bit. But occasionally you'll have to specify the full path. So, C: my program files, Python, scripts, pip.exe. It depends on your operating system and how you installed pip. However, if you have Python on the command line, the alternative way to install a package is to just type python 3-m pip install your package. And what that does is it runs pip as a module in that particular Python version and will install the package to that Python 3 version. We're actually going to talk about that now. Installing to a specific Python version. So if I have multiple versions of Python installed and I want to install a 3.8, I can type python 3.8-m pip install and then the package that I want to install. And that allows me to control where that package gets installed to. Because I may not want to install it to 3.10 or 3.11. I may want it only in my 3.8. And so you can just type python 3. Whatever version you want to install to and install it directly to that particular version of Python. All right, what if you want to install multiple packages? One good way to do that is to say python 3-m pip install and then just list out the packages. Note that they're space delimited. So package 1, space, package 2, space, package 3. Don't put commas in there, it may not work the way you expect. Another way to install lots of different packages is to use a requirements.txt file. Inside the requirements.txt, you can specify what version you want for your packages. So let's say you want SQL Alchemy latest. You could just say SQL Alchemy equals latest. Or you could specify a version number and have a whole list of different things like pandas, numpy, scipy, or whatever packages you need to install can all go on each line in your requirements.txt file. And then to install it, you just do the -m pip install and then -r for requirements.txt file. Boom, you're done. What if you need to get help? What if you don't understand what all these different functions are? So let's say we just do -m pip and we don't know what some of these do. Well, you can use -h. So let's say we do Python 3 -m pip, and I don't know what all install does, so I can just do -h, and it will tell me, what does that do? What all can happen with install? And there's a ton of install options. I can use a requirement. I can install just to the user, the Python user install directory. You can set up an upgrade strategy. I haven't used half of these. There's just a ton of them. I think I've used maybe 2 of these in my entire life as a Python programmer. But they're all there, and you can check them out, and you can use Python's help utility to figure out what they even do. Just add a -h after any of those commands, and it'll help you and give you information about that command. Okay, let's say we have a package, and it's out of date, and we want to upgrade it. You can do -m pip install --upgrade and then the package name, and it will upgrade that package for you. It'll basically uninstall the old version and then reinstall the latest version. What if we need to check and see what's currently installed? Let's find out. You can just do -m pip list. So if I do that, I'm probably going to have a lot of these. We'll do -m pip and list. Okay, I don't have a lot because Python 3 right now is mapped to Python 3.10. If I did Python 3.9, I probably have more in my list. Yeah, as you can see, I have a lot of different modules installed because I've been trying out a lot of modules in 3.9 and not so many in 3.10. So if you just want to see, what versions or what stuff you've installed with pip, you can kind of do that with list. What if you need to uninstall a package? Let's say I've installed a package, like a PDF package like ReportLab, and I decide I don't want to use ReportLab anymore, I want to use Borb. So I could do pip uninstall and the name of the package. Or if I have a requirements.txt file that I used, and I want to uninstall everything that I installed with the requirements.txt file, I can just do uninstall -r and then the path to the requirements.txt file. Sometimes something bad happens when you're installing a package. Your computer reboots because it had an update and it forces you to reboot suddenly, like when you're installing something. Your internet drops. You have a power outage. There's lots of reasons why a package may not install correctly for some reason. When that happens, the package is usually in a partial state and won't import correctly, or something, this is like weird stuff happening, or won't import at all. To fix that, usually you have to force reinstall. So to force reinstall, you do Python 3 -m pip install --upgrade --force reinstall and then the package name. And what that does is it'll uninstall the package and just reinstall it. You could technically just do the --uninstall and then just reinstall it that way too. But it gives you a handy way to do it with just one command. All right, let's say we want to create our own requirements.txt file. To do that, you use the freeze command. So -m pip freeze, a little greater than symbol, and it says pipe that output to requirements.txt. You may be familiar with this kind of syntax if you use Linux a lot. So basically, we're just going to say, give me a listing of what I've installed, and plop it into requirements.txt, and then we have our own file that we can use. This is really handy if you've been experimenting in a Python virtual environment and you want to save off all of your dependencies that you've installed. All right, so let's wrap this up. Today, I showed you how to use the Python packaging installer pip to install a package. I showed you some of the command line options that are in there. We learned how to install using a requirements.txt file. We learned about upgrading packages, checking what's installed using Python 3 and pip list. We learned about uninstalling and reinstalling packages. And we also learned how to create a requirements.txt file ourselves in case we wanted one. I hope you found this tutorial very interesting, and I hope to see you next time.